I'm Lisa Marie, and welcome to my channel, Living My Best Life.
If this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. And all of my subscribers, you are the best. Let's get started. DIY number 1. I'm going to use the farmer's market calendar that came out earlier this year. I couldn't find one, and my sweet friend Aneka from the channel Craft Eat Repeat sent me one. And I cut out the December picture, which is this Farm Fresh Christmas trees that I love. And because I use everything that I have at home, I have this huge piece of cardboard that was very thick, and I used a blade to cut it to size, and it had a couple folds in it, so I put some craft sticks on there just to hold it more sturdy. It was very thick, but it had that bend in it. So I hot glued those on the back to make sure that it would stay very sturdy. And then because the calendar has the white on the back side with the dates from the previous month, I painted the front of the cardboard in my ink Waverly chalk paint, and that way you won't see those lines. It's just a simple little thing you can do, and you don't have to worry about, what happens afterwards as far as seeing lines or dates or anything like that. And then the little hole where you hang up your calendar? Well, of course you can see that. So underneath the actual calendar page and on top of the black, I put a little bit of plaster color there just to kind of camouflage that. And then I put a glue stick all over the back, and I went to put it on my cardboard, and for some reason it didn't stick. So when I put it directly on the cardboard and then rubbed it down, it did stick. So that worked great. And I used my brayer to flatten it out and make sure there were no little places that weren't touching. Now I'm going to go in with my antique wax by Waverly and start distressing the edges lightly. And also there's little planks on there, so I wanted to make it look like it was a real wood sign, so I started to accentuate those. Now if you know me, you know it's never enough. So I'm like, well, this doesn't look old enough yet. So I used the antique wax to start going in and distressing the whole sign. Well, then you couldn't see my plank lines, so I needed to go back and get my ink paint and bring them out a little more with that. So then I did the edges, and you can kind of figure it out from there. But I'm very happy with how it looks now. This is much more aged and distressed, and I feel like it looks like it's been hanging up for years. I got some nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and I cut it so I could start hot gluing it around the edges, and that would be my frame. And I love that rustic look, and it just keeps it a little lighter. It's easy to hang, and at the end I put a little bit of jute twine to hang it, and that's it. This one is done. Super cute, super easy, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let me know if you've ever made a sign out of a calendar page. It's really fun and easy to do. I'm just thrilled with how it turned out. I hope you guys like this one. My husband loved it. I was so excited too, because then I could hang it up anywhere I wanted in the house. Friends, I am so excited that today is the Friend Friday Hop with Heidi Sonboul DIY, and I'm participating for the very first time with some amazingly talented people that you see here on the screen. And the way this works is after you watch my video, definitely leave me a comment, and then go down to my description box and you will find a link to the next person on the hop. You click that, go to their video, their channel, watch their video, leave them a comment, keep following all the hop links in the description, and it'll take you full circle back to mine. There is going to be an amazing giveaway, which I will tell you about later in the video. And the way you get entered is by leaving that comment on every single one of the videos in the hop. And now, DIY number 2. For this DIY, we're going to make a bunch of tassels. I created a little template out of cardboard. You can see I cut a notch. I wrapped around about 20 times for these particular tassels I'm making. Then I take a little teeny piece of twine and I tie it inside of where that notch is. And so that holds that piece together. And then I'm going to cut the little piece that's sticking up, and I'm going to pull it off of my template now. And then the next thing I'm going to do is put a little hot glue right where I had tied around the center of it, and I'm going to wrap some more twine around about 3 times just to give the top of the tassel a little bit of thickness. And then I will glue that down and cut off the edge there. And then the last thing I'm going to do is take my scissors and go through that bottom loop, cut it so that there are little edges, and then I'm going to give it a little haircut and make them even. And that is one tassel done. I still have quite a few more tassels to make for this project, and I'm not going to make them all on camera. If you haven't guessed already, I'm making a very neutral kind of combination boho farmhouse Christmas tree. And I'm using some burlap as a way to establish a base for the Christmas tree. I'm going to use all the little tassels I made to shape the Christmas Christmas tree, and then I'm going to hot glue them onto the burlap. And later on at the end, I do add an extra tassel because it looked uneven in the middle there, and you probably won't see that till the very end. Per my usual, I was kind of making this up as I was going along. So I used those little teeny wood blocks from the Dollar Tree to create what I originally intended to be like the trunk of the tree. And I used some Waverly antique wax to stain them. Well, then I decided to turn them kind of into something that looked like presents. And at the end I put, you'll see a lot of little baby pine cones on there just to kind of give it that rustic feel. Because the more I went through this, the more rustic it felt and less boho. In order to create more stability for my tree, I used some craft sticks. I stained them with the antique wax by Waverly and wiped off the excess. And then I'm going to hot glue them to the back of the tree, and I'm going to use all kinds of little sticks for support. And I even took a piece that I'll try to insert a picture of it, those little wooden signs that they have at Dollar Tree where there's something on both sides and there's a little light in the middle, and it's almost like a little container. So you can see I'm adding all of my little pine cones, and there's that little piece that I was just talking about. I stained it with the antique wax, and I'm using it for support. And what's really cool is because it's got like a little, it's almost like a little holder, I put a little tea light candle in there so that it illuminates the back of the tree when it's being displayed. So I'm just continuing to create kind of stabilization, and I put a few of those little wooden square pieces in just to make it so it wasn't top heavy and it wouldn't go forward. Then I took a little bit of nautical rope and I cut some little pieces, and I kind of formed a little star, and I glued the edges together. And then I used a bronze Arteza paint marker just to give it a little sheen, and I hot glued it to the top. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's just fun to create as you go. And I forgot to mention, I did trim that burlap so you wouldn't see it sticking out around the back. And now I'm adding just a teeny bit of shimmery greenery and a little teeny jute bow. And then I'm going to put a little red berry, and then I realized, oh, that's too red. So I used that bronze marker again and just kind of dulled it down, but kept it a little bit shiny. And I really love the rustic feel. What do you guys think? I just think it's so cute and neutral. Well, I really hope you like it because I am loving it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And would you have added anything different, or would you have added the color or left the little red berry? Let me know. I'd love for you to join me on my channel by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you'll always know when I have a new video. I do all kinds of DIYs, gardening in the summer, and just fun topics. Definitely hit the like button and leave me a comment. That helps my channel grow so much, and I really appreciate it. DIY number 3. I am so excited about this DIY because I really wanted to do something that was very simple and like a nativity scene, something that just really focused on the real reason for the season, which is Jesus. And so what I have is a scrap piece of wood that I got for free from Lowe's. They have, if you ask up front, they have a little spot where they have some free scraps. And I learned about that from Hot Humble Pie. And so I went there and I got a bunch of free pieces of wood. It was awesome. And then I have these little kind of house looking things from Dollar Tree. And by the way, it is really hard to get those little felt flowers off, let me tell you. Oh my gosh, I sanded and sanded. Well, anyway, I also got a little sample paint color. It's kind of like a dark taupe. And I got that at Lowe's too. And it was like $1. You never know what you're going to get when you go there. You just go to the paint department and see what they've got. But it's very affordable, and you can just try some really cool colors. I gave everything 2 really good coats to cover. And now I'm just going to measure and try to find the center of my board. And that's where I want to place the little house. So I'm going to use some E6000 and some hot glue, and you will see that I didn't let it dry long enough even for the hot glue. Needless to say, you will notice that it falls off, and I will reattach it. On my phone, I pulled up kind of like a very simple picture of Mary, baby Jesus, and Joseph, like in the manger. And I just wanted it to be kind of a silhouette. So I used a pencil to just freehand it, and then I'm using my white Arteza paint marker to fill it in. And it didn't quite cover the way I wanted, so I will go back in with some white acrylic paint to get that really bright white that I'm looking for. I feel like I really need to address the elephant in the room, which actually is Joseph's beard. It almost looks like he has a beak, and I'm so sorry. I played around with that thing, and then I tried to cover it up again, you'll see in a little bit. And then it gets bigger and it gets smaller. Oh my gosh, I guess I'm just not very good at drawing beards, but that's what that's supposed to be. I got this cute little wire Christmas tree ornament from the Dollar Tree, and I took the star off the top with some wire cutters, and I'm just going to hot glue it to the very top left there, and then I'm going to paint it white so it matches. I wanted this to be just very simple, just the two colors. And now I am re-gluing the house or the nativity scene back on. I took some burlap that I had gotten at Walmart and I made a couple cuts, and I am just hot gluing it around the long board and behind the little nativity scene. Kind of wanted to give it that rustic barn feel, like it was hay, basically like a manger, what it was. And it was in the desert, so it's not like there'd be a bunch of Christmas trees or anything. So this kind of gave that desert feel. I just wanted to say thank you very much to everyone who was praying for me when I was sick with COVID. It was not fun and I was down for the count. So your prayers really meant a lot to me. Thank you so much. And here's the finished nativity scene. Maybe except for the beard. I love it. Oh my gosh, what do you guys think? Do you like it too? I just love the simplicity and the meaning behind it. As promised, here are the details about the huge giveaway from the Friend Friday Hop. All of us creators have come together to say thank you so much for supporting our channels. You'll get a Cricut Joy, a Cricut carry bag, Cricut tools, scissors, vinyl, staple gun, 20 paintbrushes, a craft shear cutter, and a $75 Amazon gift card. And you just need to follow the instructions that I mentioned earlier in the video that are also down in my description. How awesome is that? DIY number 4. For this DIY, we're going to take 3 of those little Dollar Tree kind of sign, and then I printed some sheet music off of the internet, free printable, and I actually soaked it in coffee just to discolor it a little bit. And then I used white acrylic paint, and I'm painting all the way around all 3 boxes, and I am going to also go in and do the inside as well. And now I'm measuring to figure out how big I need to cut each of my little sheet music pieces so that I can Mod Podge them inside of each of those little picture frames. And I'm now finishing the inside painting, and I probably did about 2 coats to make sure it covered. And now I'm going to go in with that Mod Podge, and I'm going to attach my sheet music, and of course make sure that they're facing the right direction. That would be very easy to mess up. And then I'm going to take my red crimson paint, and at first I thought I was going to distress the top edge, but then I went in and I just did a solid coating, 2 coats of that. I really love the accent that gives it. It's really hard to be careful and only get it on that top section, so I did go back off camera and touch up with the white anywhere that I might have bled over the edges. So just want you to know I did not do it perfectly the first time. I found these awesome adhesive letter stickers at Walmart, and I just love the color and the shape. It was so interesting. So I'm using a J, O, and a Y because I'm going to spell out the word joy. And then I'm going to do a little bit of embellishing here and there, just figuring out which direction I'm going to want to put them. And then I cut apart some Christmas floral picks, and I used a little bit of pine and some berries. And I'm also going to use a really pretty sparkly pine cone in the middle of the O, which I really think pops. And just kind of place them randomly just to give it a little bit more interest. I found this gorgeous black and silver kind of swirly ribbon at Walmart, and I'm going to use it to kind of string my 3 boxes and have it be a hanging sign going down. And I just think it's the perfect color and accent, and it makes this look really vintage and cool. And I am absolutely loving this. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. Once I cut the ribbon to the exact length that I want, I'm going to secure a little bit more with the hot glue just so that it hangs nice and flat. And I'm going to loop the top over, and then I add a little teeny piece of jute twine behind that black ribbon so that it's easy to hang on the wall. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I always have to add something more. So I have this cute little ribbon from Walmart. It's red and white, and I made a teeny tiny little shoestring bow, and I'm going to hot glue it at the very top on that other ribbon just to kind of finish this off. I'm always looking for something else, it seems like. Sometimes you just need to know when to stop. And this was that moment for me. I just feel like this little bow just really finished this off. I am loving the sign. It is so pretty and vintage looking, and I love the sheet music. I hope you guys like this too. Let me know what you think in the comments. This might be one of my favorites. I just wanted to let everyone know that I am on social media. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Same name, Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie, and I hope to see you over there. And just a reminder before we get to the final DIY, make sure that you go on the hop after you finish this video, leave me a comment, and go ahead and go to the next video and follow along so you can be entered in to win the awesome giveaway. You have until Tuesday, December 1st at midnight Eastern Standard Time to go ahead and leave comments on all the videos in the hop, and that will enter you in the giveaway. The winner will be announced on Wednesday, December 2nd on YouTube and Instagram, so make sure to watch out for that. And the last DIY, number 5. Is it really Christmas without a red truck? Just asking for a friend. Anyway, I went ahead and I found this little triangular shaped kind of desk stand, and I'm going to use some scrapbook paper that is like a Scotch plaid that I really love, and I'm going to Mod Podge those pieces that I cut out to the outside of it, and it's going to be like a two-sided little sign. You can put it on a tiered tray or anywhere you want, and I'm just literally Mod Podging it. And once that dries, I'm going to use some sandpaper, and I'm going to sand the edges to get any excess scrapbook paper, and that way it'll look really finished. And then I'm going to add a little Mod Podge to each of those top kind of pieces where they meet. Now I've got this ornament from Dollar Tree. It was a little red truck with a Christmas tree, and I kind of took it apart, it had glitter on it, sanded that off, and now I'm going to use some red acrylic paint. I'm going to repaint it, and then I'm also going to use some burnt umber from Apple Barrel to give it a rusted look. And then I'm going to put the tires back on in black and a little bit of silver for the hubcaps and for the fenders, and just basically distress it and give it a nicer look with a little more dimension. And now I'm going to hot glue it to one side of my little triangular sign. And then I have the Christmas tree. I kind of flattened the back of it, and I turned it around. Originally it had the top leaning on top of the truck, which I think is the weirdest thing. And I remember watching on Kristen Kay's channel, and she thinks the same thing, so I know I'm not the only one. But who would put the pointy top of your Christmas tree on the roof of your truck? I don't get that. Anyway, so I made it right. And now I am just taking 2 craft sticks, and I cut off the little rounded edges. I stain them with the Waverly Wax chalk paint. And I'm going to use an Arteza marker, and I'm going to write J and Y, because obviously I'm going to spell the word joy. And then I'm going to take some little berries and make the O out of those, because this is a 2-sided little sign. So one side's going to have the red truck with the Christmas tree, and one side's going to have the little joy sign. And that way, no matter what angle you look at it from, there's something festive to see. I added 2 little teeny pieces of greenery to each end as well. And it's just so cute, and it was so easy, and I love it. I used a little bit of the red paint just to touch up the berries where I had pulled them apart and you could see the foam, and that way all you see is red now. Now that that's done, all that's left is to hot glue it to the other side of the sign, and it's that easy. And now look what we've got, a really festive little 2-sided sign with joy on one side and of course a red truck on the other side, and I just love it. I hope you guys love it too. Thank you so much for watching and being here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and definitely give this video a like, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Until then, be blessed to be a blessing.